everyone, welcome back to Silicon Dreams. I'm your host Tejaswini, and today we're diving into the thrilling world of Web3 gaming with none other than Faizy Ahmed, the mastermind behind Astra Nova. Faizy, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me here.
Before we begin, can we have a quick intro about your journey, how you've come so far, and also about Astra Nova?
So I've been in the industry since 2015 as an active miner and then later as a trader and ICO investor. So I've participated in quite a bit of the early ICOs, BNB, Matic, and a lot of others. So I got a good hang of the industry in terms of what seems like potential investments. And I have a great love for this technology and what this actually stands for in terms of finance and also the next revolution in terms of how data is also being stored and the decentralization elements. Um, as an individual, I'm also an entrepreneur in edutech and trading consultancies. I also have quite a few F&B ventures based in the MENA as well as in Indian subcontinent. I started the journey in Astra Nova somewhere towards late 2020 with my partner, who was an actively very avid Dota gamer, along with his love for crypto, just like me. So that's actually how we started. One thing that we were good at is building great minds, great teams together, and getting them to work towards a vision, which is what we were trying to frame. And that actually formed into revolutionizing the Web3 gaming for this industry. We found a lot of challenges because, as you can imagine, 2020, late 2020, and that's around like the peak of the bull run at that point of time for the previous cycle. And then we were actually building during a downtrend. We had a really strong team. We had a really good vision. We were able to strive forward despite the setbacks of the market or all the kind of aspects. And that kind of brought us here where we have multitudes of accomplishments to account for, gaming, user acquisition, brand, and especially gaming folks, which we have acquired over the course of the years. Gaming folks, gaming employees and professionals, they are generally anti-crypto. So having them on to your project is a big ordeal, which we spent over 1.5 years. So that's a bit of my journey in a nutshell.
That's amazing to hear, and it's really incredible to see how Astronova is truly revolutionizing the gaming world with its innovative approach. And if I'm getting that correctly, it's really phenomenal how Astronova is trying to bridge the gap between the transition from Web 2 to Web 3 gaming. And I'm really excited to know what's next on the horizon for this visionary venture. So tell me, Faizy, what's the big scope with Astronova? I've heard that Level 1 and 2 game playtest is live and it's soaring in popularity. So, can you share more about the latest developments in these and what's really driving its success?
One of the main reasons for driving this to success is our consistent persistency towards actually going forward with this project. So presently we have a team strength of around 80 teammates global. We have teammates from almost every part of the world. Gaming veterans who have worked with prominent names like Assassin's Creed, GTA 5, Mortal Kombat, guys with actual AAA gaming experience. So bringing these guys together and working countless nights, day and nights towards this gameplay test. It might look very simple, but a lot of efforts has gone into this. And the game level one was released in somewhere in quarter 1 of this year on Steam and Epic Store, and the quarter 2 was the level 2 was released on the second quarter. And right now, both of them are available on Steam and Epic Store, as well as Aether, Gaming, and Ultra. These are all gaming platforms. Users will be able to play and try out the game. And I mean, it's an action RPG, so you can expect a lot of action moves. So we do not want to mimic any other titles, but at this stage, I would say the closest game from Web 2 that you can relate this to would be God of War. So very action-oriented, combat-packed game is what we have right now. You can expect more stunning graphics and more combat sequences to be integrated in the upcoming gameplay test. So we have a lot cooking, and this is just the start of that.
That's amazing. So, generally, for a business or say even a company, what's really important is the user engagement or catering to the audience that you have. And specifically for Web3 gaming platforms, user engagement is really the name of the game. So, what's your view on user driven communities in the Web3 space, and particularly in relation to Astra Nova's user generated content, which I believe is something that you're going to implement in the near future? And how do you think this community involvement within the Web3 gaming landscape is really going to change the mentality of the players?
Right. Great question. This the the ethos of Web3 is actually community first. For our project, one of their core visions and pillars is gamers first, incentive second. So how we have actually structured is also in that fashion where it's a very fun game, and we put our gamers at the forefront, meaning they should have a really entertaining game. And all the other elements as secondary. That means financial incentive and stuff. Um, so which is why our game has several. So the gameplay test, which leads up to the actual game, is actually a testament of that, because we every gameplay test that we actually put out in the market, we take our user feedback very seriously. The ones on Steam, the ones on Discord, all of them. And the next version, when we release out, we always address the issues of the previous build, and then we roll out the new one. So we always factor in our user feedback to make sure that those are rectified in the next build. So that way the users always, catered to, like, the next one, you won't see the same problem persisting. You'll be seeing new ones. Is that new problems are fine, old ones are the ones you have issues with. So that's our way of thinking. And in regards to involving our community more, we do have a very active social platform right now. It's called the Black Pass, which is a questing platform with our in-game as well as social tasks, which we ask our users to fulfill. This has been very successful for us. We have over 170K monthly active users, over 40K daily active users, and over 80K weekly active users. These are big numbers in our Web3 ecosystem, because Web3 ecosystem is comparatively very small compared to the Web2, its parent. And we see the UGC to play a big role in actually improving this, because um, the social as well as the questing platform is great, but how the users can have more affinity towards the project is when they actually start creating these content and they get rewarded for it. This can be anything. This can be fan fiction, this can be assets for the game, this can be almost any aspect which can add value to the project, and where there's a community, they might vote on it and that guy gets rewarded. Now, this is what we're trying to cultivate with our UGC platforms launch, which we have coming up probably towards Q4, like right after the token launch. And that's a way for us to get closer. We want to get closer to our community, because at the end of it, we're building this product not for the VCs, not for the investors. This is for the users. And by having them part of each part of our journey, each step of our journey, and through these feedbacks, UGC, they have a product which is actually catered to their needs. So it aligns with that goal, and we are very community oriented in these regards.
Absolutely. I think Web3 gaming is like completely a democratizing experience where there's more gamer governance that prevails, where the gamer or the user can themselves decide what's the path that, the game is going to charter in the future. And they get to be a part of the making process, and nothing gets better
Absolutely.
than that. So, speaking of which, it's a rapid question. In one line, do you think that Web3 gaming is a sustainable trend in the long term, or do you see other emerging technologies blowing this away by storm?
Gaming doesn't die. Gaming is eternal. Gaming is inevitable. So it's not just because I'm now, as I mentioned earlier in the start of this call, I'm more a trader. I'm more a crypto guy. I'm not the gaming guy. My partner is. My other partner, my co-founder is. My other partners are the actual, people who loves gaming. Okay, I play games sometimes. I mean, I like RPG games, but I'm not a full-blown gaming guy who plays all the time. But what I see a opportunity here. That's why I started this, and this is not an opportunity which I see, which just starts and then goes. Gamers are a niche. Unlike other things like DeFi or any other thing, gamers, if you have a very entertaining product, it cannot go outdated. Now, if the economy is not sustainable, it goes bad. Now, what Web3 games needs to focus on is just one thing. I mean, two things. Good game. And second, just make sure that shit doesn't go to zero. Because if it goes to zero, that means the token, then this entire model does not work. You're basically, even if you have a fantastic game, the token's going so bad, then people actually lose interest. They factor it as something which failed. So as long as these things are catered to, Web3 gaming will stop being called Web3 gaming. It will be just called gaming because I think blockchain and crypto is going to take over, just like the internet bubble, the dot-com bubble. It just goes to the next stage. Web3 gaming is going to be called just gaming. It'll be so normal having games on blockchain. It's just that you'll have more refined games in the market. Now, the other sectors you mentioned, AI. Now, I don't think they're going to be overtaking. I think they will be integrated in gaming. So Astra Nova has many elements of AI integrations. We use it for NPCs. We use it for game asset creations, maps, animations. These are all to improve our workload. So AI is also going to be there. It just Web3 game is also going to be there. Web3 gaming, or I would say blockchain gaming, is going to be always there as long as there are builders who are going to have quality products out in the market with tokens which are sustainable. And as long as these things are met, we're looking at this as it's an evergreen trend. Obsolete trends, like so privacy coins and things, those are very few trends which died down. Web3 gaming is not like those. This has a lot of retail adoption and mass potential. Privacy coins is a very small niche. As long as people are able to make those kind of products like I mentioned, this is going to be there for the long run. So that's my take on this.
So, how do you envision the future of gaming being changed by Web3, say in the next 5 years or so?
5 years is another cycle. So 5 years. So we're right now in a bull. So you're saying 2029. So things will be very different. So if you noticed in the last cycle, let's just compare it on cycle to cycle basis. The last cycle, I'm talking every cycle and every Bitcoin cycle, 4 years, 4 years, when it peaks and when it goes down. So last cycle was 2021, 2022. We were going all crazy. All bull was back. But 2021, sorry. So that's when it was called the GameFi summer for a reason, right? There was so many projects out there in the market. They were just pushing forward with a fancy website, a kick-ass trailer. That's all they had, nothing else. And they raised a lot of money. And but then now there's a difference in this cycle, as in now you're seeing the same GameFi trend, which came back somewhere towards December 2023 and early part of this year. Now the GameFi trend actually died. I mean, not died down. It went a bit low, but it's again going to have a super cycle apparently, which I like to believe in the coming months. And that what I see here is a very big difference, as in now there are projects with products. They have games out there in the market. They actually have things to show. It was not like just a pitch deck or a trailer. Now there's a lot of things, users, people, everything. It's like an actual startup here at this stage. What I think will happen in the next 5 years is actually top tier game titles in the market, as in how we see. now you see hamster combat and those kind of games, which is gaining a lot of mass adoption. This is going to change, and there are going to be a lot of AAA games or high quality games which will be taking the spotlight, and people will be looking at it like there is a really cool game out there in the market and we should check it out. And that game will make the Web3 integration so seamless that the people don't even who doesn't know ABCs of crypto or blockchain, they're gonna figure it out, they're gonna play it. And they're gonna spend the same way they're gonna spend their credit cards, how their kids are spending, how they themselves, some gamers are spending on these things. Well, and their money is going to get converted to crypto. All these things are going to be so seamless that the users don't actually experience what's the underlying tech behind it. I think this is going to be the future. There's going to be some really, really cool titles out there in the market. And that's the answer to your question, previous question, that how this is going to get massive adoption when projects actually put those kind of delivers and those kind of flagships are going to be there in the market. A lot of people are going to flock. One successful game in the market, all the people are going to flock to it, and Web3 or gaming, Web3 as a whole will boom, not to mention of course GameFi.
True. I mean, who wouldn't really want to dream about getting McDonald's in Switzerland with cryptocurrency, right? I think that's possible as of today. But
Yeah.
that's really an absolutely amazing thing to think of right now. And truly, in the Web3 gaming space, what's sustainable over the future is the continuous monitoring of what technologies that we could, integrate within the platforms and how we could make it better. Even if some trends have died down in the past, I think all of the changes are only forward looking and none are backward looking. And I've seen a massive improvement on how Web3 developers are now looking at their games from just something on a sheet, like you mentioned, a pitch deck, to something that I can visualize right in front of me. So, in the next 5 years, I think it's definitely going to be a revolutionizing change. But I've heard that definitely during these gaming experiences, you get to have these fun ownership titles through non-fungible tokens, and then you get to own cool characters and all of that. And once you hold ownership of one character, no one else can take ownership of that. So this brings me a little bit to an intellectual property dilemma. Do you think there might be some regulatory challenges surrounding this area, like any legal issues on NFTs or anything that might be involving with the upgradation of gaming from the Web 2 to Web 3?
Legal, I can't, I mean, as a game you're going to have an IP and you're going to use that IP to create an entertaining game. There's no problem there. Uh, the question which you mentioned about the compliance affects the industry as a whole. We're
Mm-hmm.
talking about, maybe any other tokens being classified as securities,
Mm-hmm.
commodities. Now, these are all things which I think has definitely improved. See,
Mm-hmm.
we were looking at 1, 2 cycles back, crypto was banned. A
True.
few more cycles before, this was drug money. A few more, you get it. So from drug money, from bans, we are here towards institutions now participating. BlackRock having their hands. Whatever you think BlackRock's going to invest in something which gets banned? Never. Do you think Hedera as an entity has their hands in crypto? Because they are all here because of there is a future that they foresee where these all things play, it's inevitable. It will come to play whether they like it or not. They did challenge a few sectors and tried to kill them in the last cycle, like the privacy coins and stuff. But Web3 gaming is one of those things which actually has no problem with all these things. Now, there might be certain brands or certain issues which might come up for compliance, but I do not see as a whole, I see only the
Mm-hmm.
upside. And whatever challenges come through, it will be just temporary, it will pass. And I think whatever compliance is going to happen in the future might come from either as an industry as a whole, which we always overcome as a group, or the second maybe as like some IP issues, like games are using a lot of AI or these kind of things,
Mhm.
which is also I see these big billion-dollar companies already fighting these legal claims and winning.
Mhm.
So I do not see any problem here as an adoption standpoint or in terms of
Mhm.
compliance. I see us
Mhm.
just moving forward. And I
Mhm.
mean, if you're and to mention about the regional support, so Saudi Arabia was also not very fond of crypto, just to go back a few years. They went
Mhm.
from there to towards acceptance, towards adoption, into actual investment in Animoca, one of the leading
Mhm.
players in Web3 gaming, especially. Just
Mhm.
last year, Q3 or Q4, and
Mhm.
now they are supporting very, very ambitious projects which are building in Web3, as well as
Mhm.
they're giving support for the emerging technologies. In fact, we are one of those projects which is having those support from Saudi Arabia. They're the main entities like NEO, which is backing us unofficially. So there is a lot of scope for only the upsides, according to compliance, according to me.
Mhm.
And as a believer for the space, I think I'm always gonna go bullish on this.
Yeah, true. I mean, earlier it was about managing compliance within the boundaries of what was possible, but now the big players and all of those in the Web3 gaming industry are making it look like it's compliance, but with innovations, and you push the boundary of what you make possible and what's not really just possible as defined by the regulations. I mean, we flew through those questions, and I'm really excited to be associated with Astra Nova, try out the gaming platforms. And so tell me, what are some of the exciting milestones that are coming up for Astra Nova, and for all of those who are eager to associate themselves with your gaming platform, what's the next step for them to join the adventure?
Right. So we had an impressive run till now. We had acquired 170K plus gamers on our platform. We have achieved several NFT sellouts of a 10K, 6K collection. We have over 3,500 NFT holders across both our collections on Ethereum and Polygon. We also have over 200 plus collabs with several gaming guilds, NFT communities, which we closed just for the recent Supernova keys, our previous Polygon NFTs, which we launched. Now, this is not the end. This is just a start for our journey because it's GameFi Super Cycle coming, and we have the first of all, we have our pre-sale coming up. So our users which bought into our previous collection, the Supernova keys, they're the holders of them, the referral codes, and also ardent believers into our projects get an opportunity to actually partake in our pre-sale, which is happening on August 6th. There's a form which is there on our Twitter, which users can go there and fill out. It takes like under 1 2 minutes, and they can actually be part of our project and be early into our project before any of those big VCs and other. Usually the community does not get those kind of chances. We want to be a community driven project, which is why we want to give that chance to our community members, especially our NFT holders, which are very loyal and supported us across more than 2 years. I know some of these folks. And apart from that, we have more gameplay test, which is coming up. So there's more like level 3 versions, which will be coming. There's a survival mode, which is coming up. And we have a Telegram game which we are planning. I cannot really reveal much details about it, but that's going to be massive. It's going to be very massive, like how our Black Pass has taken the crypto world by storm. We also have, of course, the most anticipated our RVV, our token launch planned for the Q4. And of course, the airdrop follows. So everyone who's participating in our events, in our activities, which we are hosting, is going to be very looking forward to that day. And then we have our Deviants mini game later towards this year, which is a mobile version of our game for them to check out and play. So while we are developing our RPG game. So later throughout 2025, they can expect the beta version of our game as well as an alpha version of the RPG game, which they can try out. And there's plenty of stuff. You guys can check out our roadmap on our website. and you can stay tuned. And for any announcements, you guys can check out our Twitter. That's where we're most active, along with our communities on Telegram and Discord, where all our events and announcements are also posted.
And here I thought it was getting fun with just one update, and you have a whole fun social calendar for us to follow up with and look out for exciting updates. And with that, thank you so much for joining us today, Faizy. It's been an absolute blast hearing about your journey and the excitement developments in the Web3 gaming space. And to our awesome listeners, thanks for tuning in to another episode of Silicon Dreams. Stay tuned for more insightful episodes where we dive into the coolest trends and innovations in technology. Until next time, have an amazing day.